should just bring it forward a little bit.
They are busy with something, so they're going to be busy with that, okay? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Nobody's in yet, so.
We'll play more sand after. Be quiet.
Okay.
Let's go upstairs for a good walk.
Sounds like a
I got
babe.
all your stuff upstairs.
If you want to, you can just grab a chair.
Okay, be quiet.
Hi. We're just getting ready for the Preserve Your Harvest 1 hour class where we talk about how to save all the stuff we're making in the garden. And I'm just opening my stuff that I'm going to make for Christmas presents. You're going to love this.
Oh, those are so cute.
And then I'm going to put chamomile in there. And put a carrier oil.
Okay.
And then they just, yeah. It has a ball roller and
Oh, that's
it's going to be
fantastic.
so cool. So, yep, that's what I'm making for all the Christmas presents for all of the kids' teachers this year. Because everybody just needs to chill. We all just need to chill. And I forgot what else I bought. Oh, I bought spice jars.
Oh, fun for dehydrating your own, making your own spices.
Yes.
Nice.
So, and I made a whole bunch of dill salt.
Perfect.
And oh my god, is it salty?
Well, it's salt.
It's dill salt.
It's salt.
And I'm just like, oh,
it's
my
lightly
goodness.
dill flavored salt.
Right? I'm just like, woo, I need to put some other herbs in there, I swear. So that's gonna presents. So for all the guy teachers, this. For all the girl teachers, that.
Nice.
Yeah. So, well, we have 2 people here. Hi, guys. Let's see. We are. Thanks for sitting there so you can read all the stuff. We're talking about preserving your garden harvest. So, this is talking about preserving your harvest because we have so many things up here that we have made in the garden that we really just don't want to lose them. We want to preserve them so we can actually use them for the entire year. So, let's quick talk about all of the different ways to preserve your harvest. So, some of these, cold storage, so that's like the refrigerator, okay? Another one, root cellar. Now I know most of us do not have root cellars, but I might as well just talk about them because it is yet another way for us to think about preserving our harvest, just in case the United States does go into catastrophic, complete failure. And, you know, sometimes learning about the old ways is a good thing, because sometimes you never know when you just gotta go back. So, root cellars, freezing, let's see, I'm also going to be talking about what kind of foods are good for these things. Drying, you know, sun drying, dehydrating, canning. Now there's like more than 5 different types of canning, but we're going to just talk about 5. Okay? So there's the water bath, there's the pressure canning, there's fermentation, there's pickling, and there's sugaring. Okay? And then there's also smoking to preserve your harvest and salting and curing to preserve your harvest. Now, a lot of people are harvesting more things than just plants in their garden. They also have chickens, eggs, a whole bunch of stuff. Just, we can do meat too, right? Some people are shooting rabbits. I'm just looking out the window and I see a whole bunch of what do you call it? Black swallowtail butterflies laying eggs on my dill. Okay, so let's talk about whole food preservation first, okay? So where some of these are going to be altered food preservation, which is going to be like grinding up and putting into seasoning. So like we're actually changing the look of the food, okay? So whole food preservation is going to be like you're going to put it in the refrigerator. The refrigerator is very short-term food preservation. It is not long-term food preservation. So things that you can put in the refrigerator are going to be raw meat and poultry, dairy products, eggs, fresh vegetables, berries and grapes, and leftovers. Now, here is where we talk about the things that you should not put in your refrigerator, okay? Some of us might know about these. And this is because like the refrigerator is a very arid place. It sucks the moisture out of things, okay? So things like potatoes, onions and garlic, tomatoes, bread. Bread, it can actually make it go stale, right? Stale, yes. Honey can live on the counter, okay? And there are some people who will die fighting that, but no, honey can live on the counter. And canned goods and in sealed jars, okay? If they are properly sealed, you do not have to store them in the refrigerator. If they have been opened, like tomato sauce, I often open tomato sauce and I don't use nearly the whole can because my children hate tomato sauce. I know, they're weird. So I only use tomato sauce on mine, and so I put it in the refrigerator. Now, root cellars. Root cellars, they are cool, humid storage that slows spoilage of our produce. And there are some vegetables in here too. So, good things. Let's talk about the storage a little bit more. Sorry. So, root cellars, they need to be between 32 degrees and 40 degrees. Okay, so that's freezing to just above freezing. So it's like a refrigerator, but unlike a refrigerator, refrigerators suck out moisture. Root cellars are supposed to be more humid. Okay? Humidity for fruits and vegetables are anywhere between 80 to 90%.
That's pretty humid.
It's pretty humid. Remember, these are supposed to be dug into the ground 4 to 6 feet is what your root cellar is, because it is cold. The earth is not always warm. It's supposed to be chilly.
But just below the frost line where you don't have to worry about your produce freezing.
Exactly.
But it's still kept at a very cool temperature.
Right. So for us in Minnesota, our frost line is, for us down southern Minnesota, our frost line is 3 feet. Up northern Minnesota, it is up to 5 feet. Okay? So we talked about that in a previous class.
So it would have, the root cellar would have to be below that line.
Yes, at least part of it below that line.
Right.
Yes. So, because the thing is, when you have a root cellar, you're supposed to have an intake valve underneath the soil for air exchange to come up, and then it goes out the top for the heat to escape. So cold air in, hot air out.
So you don't wind up with a greenhouse effect.
Yeah. And we really don't want a lot of condensation there at all. We want at most 90% humidity, and that's for fruits and vegetables. So this is something that you need to check frequently with your root cellars. You need to make sure that it's actually functioning correctly. So for example, if we were to lose electricity, I would be digging in that hill in the backyard, and I would be making myself a root cellar. And a bomb shelter too, probably. No, I haven't thought about it at all.
And as a point of reference too, most basements humidity ideally is around 40% humidity.
Yeah.
So 80-90% humidity is
It's
quite
huge.
high.
Huge. So that would be like,
That'd be like it's going to rain outside if the weather's talking about 90% humidity.
I agree.
Better you're
Like, that
swimming
would
in the
be
heat
a lot.
outside.
Yeah. Okay? I'll live in a cave any day with 90% humidity, though. Yeah. Not 80 degrees.
I don't know about living in it.
Okay, so, but that's for fruits. Whereas, I'm sorry. I was just on this piece of paper and I'm just like this. And then I almost tried to go like that.
Technology.
It's bad. Okay, so for root vegetables, that is 90 to 95% humidity for root vegetables. Okay, and that's for a root cellar. Now, root cellars are good for storing apples, pears, squash, pumpkins, cabbage, onions, garlic, root vegetables, canned goods, jars, dried beans, and grains. Now, remember how we said that you shouldn't store those in the refrigerator? You could totally store that in a root cellar.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy. Okay? Now, not ideal for bananas, cucumbers, tomatoes, leafy greens, and berries. Okay? So, there's a lot of information here. Remember, this handout is on Facebook in the event for preserving your garden harvest. Okay? So let's talk about some of these, like carrots and turnips and beets. You can actually store these in sand or also in a wooden box in this root cellar. So these, you're looking at like 6 months plus of storage for these vegetables. Onions and garlic. They need to be dried in braids coming off of a shelf. So they need to be in air, yes.
So with onions and garlic, it's important when you harvest them. It's really tempting to just cut off the leafy top.
No, you have to
You want to keep that leafy top. Yep, you need to dry them out with the leafy top intact. So when you harvest them, what you do is, it sounds silly, but you braid them and you hang them in an environment where they can dry out on that line.
Absolutely. So you're not going to do what the store is doing.
Yeah,
and
don't
chop
do
them
that.
off like this, because you want this, and you're going to braid these all together in kind of a French braid and just have them cascading down.
In fact, I've seen other people who do show how to preserve garlic and onion. They've even gone to the extent of getting it was a large wired dog kennel, and they would hang it in their garage in this dog kennel because they could attach it easily and have a nice little container of sorts to dry out their onions. And I thought that was genius.
I mean, I've seen people put them just on racks.
Yeah.
And they just have the tops coming down through the wired racks.
You used to see it all the time, the hanging in the
Absolutely.
kitchens.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was just talking to my husband about the difference between like an in-house kitchen and a summer kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
The pioneers, they always had like an exterior kitchen. So it would be like the house.
It would make sense.
And then the exterior kitchen would be free on 3 sides. And the door just to the house, and they would shut that.
Yep.
And just have all of the windows and doors open in the summer kitchen.
Well, it makes sense. They didn't have air conditioning.
Right?
So,
I'm like, I wish I had that on some days, because I'm just like, I have to turn the AC on just because I want to make a pizza.
Right.
So, onions. Make sure whenever you are harvesting these to put for drying, you are curing them first. You are setting them out to harden. Okay? Not to totally like dehydrate, but or to get soft. You're just putting them out to like in the sun, lots of air movement to harden. Okay? So that is the same for potatoes, sweet potato, squash, all of the things. Okay? Now we're going to move to freezing. Now freezing is obviously like one of our favorite ways to like actually get fresh food into our kitchen because the grocery stores make it super easy. So why can't we do that with our food? Okay, so this is good with these kind of produce, okay? These kind of harvest. So fruits would be berries, peaches, mangoes, bananas, apples, grapes, and citrus. Vegetables, green beans, broccoli, carrots, peas, spinach, corn, bell peppers, meat, beef, chicken, turkey, pork, lamb, whole bunch of seafood. Thank goodness, because we would never have seafood, right?
Not in the Midwest.
Not in the Midwest. Dairy would be cheese, butter, yogurt, and milk. You can totally freeze yogurt. You could totally freeze milk too.
I will
bread.
throw in a couple 2 cents about
Yes.
that. Some things you do have to be careful about freezing.
Yes.
Yes, you can totally freeze milk and yogurt and dairy
But
products.
you want
However,
to drink it within a month of
if they're
freezing it.
using it for cooking, though, however, you have to be careful because you can easily curdle. So if you're making like soups and stuff
Yeah.
and you add the dairy before you freeze it, when you go to heat it back up again, that milk is going to curdle.
Yep, on here it said cook the milk before you freeze it. Isn't that weird?
That I don't know if I agree with that though.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because if you cook
I like
it,
that.
if you cook it and then reheat it, what's going to happen is that milk that had been frozen is going to curdle.
Okay.
Because you're essentially cooking the dairy.
Right.
So it becomes more of a, I don't want to say
Like
cheese, but I mean,
Like a cheese curd.
right.
Yeah.
So if you want more to keep more of that creamy consistency, I found more luck with making the soups without the dairy.
Yeah.
And then when I go to heat it up, then I would add the dairy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because it also says leftover soup, so that might be a really good add-in. Let's see, bread, rolls, pizza, muffins, and stews, casseroles, and sauces. Okay, so those are all really, really great for freezing. Now, I have also already frozen a lot of basil that I have cut because that monster was like this tall. It was huge. Okay, so what I did was, this is my frozen olive oil basil. Isn't that great?
That's so cool.
And so
That's
what I
a
do
great way to preserve your herbs.
is I just chopped up my basil. I washed it. I chopped it up. I know it sounds silly to wash your stuff for some people, but no, I really don't feel like eating parasites.
Well, bugs and
Right.
birds, doing their thing.
Birds poopies, yes. So, I like to chop up my basil, put it in here. You could do it with water. I like to do olive oil because then I'll just cook it with my chicken. And just line it and then drizzle the olive oil over it. Super easy. This lasts me, I'll probably do another batch, but this lasts me over a whole winter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I don't have to buy basil, and it's just perfect. I can just whoop into the skillet and warm it all up, start cooking. Smells amazing.
You can actually do that with a wide variety of
A
herbs,
huge
too.
variety of herbs. Huge. Anything fresh, like I could totally do thyme, rosemary,
Mhm.
all of that. It was just so good.
In fact, you can do the same thing with butter.
Right. And then here's like some of my frozen shredded zucchini. I already have that all set up because I want to cook with it, and I was just not fast enough. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. I also have a small chest freezer in the garage. So some of these things you don't have to alter a whole bunch before you actually just like freeze it. Okay, I cut up my bell peppers and I put it in a baggie and I freeze them so I can just take some and put it into my breakfast omelet. Super easy. Let's talk about sun drying. Now, this is going to be very, very similar to dehydrating, so forgive me for talking about both of them and sounding the same twice. So fruits would be berries, apples, apricots, bananas, mangoes, figs, grapes, peaches. Vegetables, I know some of you are just like, no, tomatoes are a fruit. They are. They are. Okay, so vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, onions, zucchini, mushrooms, green beans, leafy greens, herbs. So basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary, mint, dill, parsley. So pretty much everything I have out there in my herb garden. And other stuff like meats. You can sun dry meats. I would definitely recommend having a cage around that because definitely the butterflies might enjoy that too.
Flies too.
Ah, yummy.
The last thing you
Get
want
some
is
protein.
any
And
flies.
eggs.
Oh
Eggs.
no.
Oh, gross.
We don't want maggots.
No, thank you. So you can make jerky, fish, nuts and seeds. Now I'm just thinking.
I'd rather go smoke those.
I'd rather smoke meats, any meats. You could do it in a dehydrator. I would, if you do that, definitely look at what you're doing. Crank up the, what do you call it? The temperature. So this is my little dehydrator. I have a lot more, what do you call it? More trays.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had chamomile in here. So just my little chamomile. And I was just going to be making little Christmas presents with those and some carrier oil so that the teachers could have something unique instead of here's a present from the store. So we can make a video on that later. So dehydrating fruits, apples, bananas, berries, mangoes, pineapples, peaches, apricots, tomatoes, zucchini, mushrooms, peppers, onions, kale, carrots, green beans, basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary, mint, parsley, beef, turkey, chicken, salmon, and tuna, and nuts, seeds, fruit leathers, and yogurt. They definitely specify proper preparation for the yogurts. Okay, because I think those are like the yogurt drops, whatever. I know a lot of people who make that in the oven. So, yeah. Yeah, I know. So there's a lot of tips and tricks. Again, remember I have this handout on the event page that this event is coming off of. Okay, now let's get into canning. Okay, canning is far more complicated than I thought it was. Oh my god.
It's not that bad. It's just it's open to a lot of experimenting.
I mean, I'm really great at experimenting. It really is like all of this gardening stuff is really just like living the witchy life, okay? So like it's great. I love it. So let's talk about canning. Like I said, we're only going to talk about like 5 different kinds of canning. There's safe canning. This is all in the handout. Safe canning tips. Make sure you are sterilizing your canning stuff. Make sure you're getting a correct seal. Make sure that you are using correct, what do you call it? The correct cans, the correct vegetables. You're canning the correct things for the method you're using. Does that make sense? Because canning, there's like water bath canning and then there's like pressure canning. So it can be dangerous because botulism. Okay, so like water bath canning is for acidic foods, where pressure canning is for low acidity foods. Does that make sense?
Can you go into what botulism is?
Oh my god, it's like bacteria. That's pretty much all I can tell you.
Very,
really
very
bad bacteria.
dangerous bacteria.
Yeah, that's why like we don't give honey to babies, like because they can't deal with it where we can with that small amount.
Right.
Right.
And botulism generally typically comes as a result from not properly sterilizing your cans, your lids, your
Right.
equipment, and not properly washing your vegetables and preparing them before you start the canning process.
Yes, and you need to cook your vegetables before you actually like put them in jars. You need to sterilize your jars. There's just a lot of steps to this. So, yeah. There's also a lot of talk about headspace and how much you need, the equipment you need. So I've been trying to get all the equipment for canning. I have somebody who's like, "Oh, I have jars for you," and I'm like, "Yay!" Because jars are expensive.
They can get pricey.
Yeah. I have on there the 4 safety steps and why didn't they seal and how to fix them. That is in the handout so that I'm kind of just providing you guys information. So canning bath. Okay, water bath. That is pretty much like taking our vegetables, they're already cooked, we're putting them in into liquid with the correct spices and all of the fun stuff and sealing them up and making sure they seal tightly so that they are preserved. Okay, so and that's the basic of canning.
And that liquid typically is a brine, so it's a mixture
Yes.
of water, vinegar, and salt. And you can find a lot of really good recipes
A lot.
online for that ratio.
And then you're allowed to can certain vegetables and contents that are highly acidic for regular canning for the water bath. Okay? And some of those are going to be like soups and stews, meats and poultry, pickles and relishes, vegetables, tomatoes and sauces, and fruits. Okay? Now, the pressure cooking. Now, pressure cooking can be really scary. Okay? Can you just do a regular pressure cooker? Like
I have not experimented with a lot of pressure cookers. I mean,
Yeah.
pressure cookers, in my understanding, is it not only adds heat but pressure
Yeah.
while the cooking process is happening. And pressure
So it just
cookers
happens
on its
faster.
own can be dangerous
Yeah.
if not done correctly.
I've heard of people completely like shooting a hole through making a sunroof.
It can be dangerous using any kind of pressure cooker. That's correct.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen often. But as long as you're following the directions, you should be okay.
Hopefully.
It's less dangerous than deep frying a turkey.
Okay, good to know. If dumb men, sorry, if men can do it, I can do it. So, okay, so I also put on here safety tips and tricks for doing pressure cookers and times. This is times and altitudes requirements for pressure canning. Okay, so this is something you do not want to cheat on. Okay, this is something you definitely want to look at. Okay? Now, can't lie, it's intimidating to me. So, we can do it, right? We can do it. So, I do have a pressure cooker. It's in there. But I've never used it. I got it for free.
I can show you how to
That would
use
be
it.
great. Okay, so we're going to talk about fermenting. Fermenting, pickling, and sugaring are by far probably the easiest that we're ever going to talk about. Fermenting. So fermenting is pretty much natural, preserved with good bacteria. Okay? You are slowly really adding flavor and amazingness to these things. So think about it. Who likes sauerkraut? We do. So I've never cooked sauerkraut, but sauerkraut is amazing. So, and our bodies are made to eat fermented things. That's how it breaks down. Before we had a lot of heat, fire, cooking like that, we would ferment our meat to eat it. Okay, so which is why we're so into cheese and fun stuff like that. So things that we can ferment to eat are going to be cabbage, kimchi, so sauerkraut, kimchi, carrots, beets, cucumbers, radish, turnips, green beans, onions, garlic, apples, berries, cherries, lemons, pineapples, plums, grapes, yogurt, kefir, I don't know how to say that, cultured butter, fermented cheese, miso. Some of these I'm really having a hard time saying, so I apologize. Tempeh, natto, fermented tofu, soy sauce, sourdough bread, fermented oats, quinoa, kvass, tepek, again, sorry, garlic honey. That sounds like it's going to be great. Like, for that one, you just pretty much, just garlic, put honey on it, it will ferment.
Actually, you can do that with fruits, too.
So that's what, sugaring is, right? It, falls into the sliding scale. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's awesome. Hot sauce. Laura made hot sauce. So the really cool thing about this is that she cooked it. I'm going to butcher this a little bit. So she cooked it. She had a lot of chunks in there previously. And then she took the cheesecloth after it was... Am I butchering it? Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
So with making the hot sauce, there's so many different ways you can make hot sauces. What I did is I took a blender. I put habanero and rehydrated mango pieces into the blender, blended it all up with vinegar and salt. And what you do is you lay that mixture out in a bowl with a cheesecloth draped over the top of it and let it ferment for a couple days. And it smells amazing when it does this. And then after the couple days, what you do is...
We were just made to like fermented things.
So what you do is you take that pulpy mixture and then you run it through the cheesecloth and you collect the liquid that comes out of that, and then you put that aside, and then that's your hot sauce. But hot sauce naturally has a very watery texture if all you use is the liquid.
Which one are you looking for?
The one in the bag.
Ah.
So to keep that kind of thicker consistency, to add a nice preservative and keep it from separating and looking off, you add a little bit of xanthan gum, which you can just order online. That's what I did. Mm-hmm. Mix that into your mixture, and then you get this lovely, nice, thick hot sauce.
Mitch is like, I'm going to drink it.
It tastes lovely.
Mitch is gross. Finn, go back to bed. I love you.
But just like any of these recipes for pickling, for making sauces or anything, you can kind of experiment with what you wind up putting in it and try different. It winds up getting different flavors.
It's just like making potions. It's cooking. You know how we used to make potions in the backyard with the mud and the water and the sand, and just like being kids.
Except this time we can actually eat it and enjoy it.
Eat it. So I'm gonna put that right there. So fermenting, fabulous. Okay, pickling. This one we are using a vinegar, brine, salt, and spices. Good things to pickle are gonna be cucumbers, carrots, cauliflower, beans, beets, onions, peppers, radishes, cabbage, asparagus, green tomatoes, apples, peaches, pears, watermelon rind, and lemons. Dill, garlic, mustard, that usually just goes in with the items that we're actually pickling. Those are usually our spices. Hard-boiled eggs, green beans, okra, and mushrooms.
You could also do fish.
Absolutely. Like pickled herring.
Yeah.
Bleh. So, I mean, some people, just like sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is not a thing that you just pick it up one day and I'm going to try this. It's probably going to taste great. No, it's really, sauerkraut is really just a cultural thing.
It's an acquired taste.
It really is. Like, I have had some boyfriends that are just like, ugh, sauerkraut. And I'm like, I can't marry you. Sorry. So my husband and I have sauerkraut on, like, so many things. So let's put a sauerkraut on pizza. Yeah, because we're crazy. Because we're Minnesotan. Scandinavian. Okay? So, it's a cultural thing. So let's talk about sugaring. This is making jams, jellies, and fruit preserves with sugar or pectin. You can also use honey. Now, there is a big difference between jams, jellies, and fruit preserves. Okay? And it has very much to do with how much fruit is actually in there. Okay? How big the pieces actually are. So jelly, they're like ding, 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 ding. Where like fruit preserves are like so, you're welcome to my sounds for descriptions. So, and I also have on there the differences for that, and then how much syrup to make and how much sugar you need to make those. So like light syrup, it will be 9 cups of syrup, and you're going to, it will make 9 cups for a 7 quart canner load, and you're just adding 2.25 cups of sugar. So for example, that, whereas like a heavy syrup, you're gonna do 5.25 cups of sugar.
A lot of it.
So, yes. So there's a whole bunch of different kinds of stuff that personally I have no idea about at all yet. I will learn for making these amazing foods. Okay, so.
Yeah, there's additives you can add to your pickling when you're pickling
Right.
to make the vegetables a little more crispier.
Right.
There's stuff that you can add to your fruit, your jams, and your preserves to kind of retain some of the pulpiness of the fruits inside of it.
Yeah, there's just so many things.
Strongly recommend, if you're going to add those additives to what you're doing, though, make sure you're following the directions on the product that you
Watch
bought.
a video.
Yeah.
Watch a video.
Make sure you follow. It's not like garlic where you can be like, oh, we're just going to put a ton of garlic in. It says a little bit of garlic, but I like garlic. No, you have to follow the instructions.
Otherwise, it's just not going to turn out. It's just the ratios are off. Yeah, just.
We're
Okay.
dealing with chemistry here at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely, and chemistry is something like most of us. Last time we talked about it was like finding our husbands or wives, or high school.
High school.
Okay, or for me talking about neurodivergence. Okay, so last two we're going to talk about salting and smoking and salting. Okay, so smoking. I know a lot of our men in our lives really like the smokers added on to we're gonna put that down there so I don't break it. Added on to our barbecue, our grill. So smoking is really great. It dries the food and it adds preservation. So things we can do is meat. I really love brisket, ribs, and roast. Oh yeah. Okay. Pork, pork shoulder, belly, loin, poultry, game, salmon. Mitch's mouth is watering up there. Trout, tuna, mackerel, shrimp, scallops, cheddar, Gouda, cream cheese, butter, peppers, onions, garlic, mushrooms, almonds, pecans, and cashews, eggs, tofu, and salt. Okay, those are the things that we can smoke. Now, in this handout, it tells you all of how to do it. Okay? It does not have the exact recipes, but it gives you the basic understanding. Okay, so, let's see. Salting meats. This draws out the moisture and kills bacteria. Okay, so meats, we can do pork, which makes bacon, ham, pancetta.
Pancetta?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm probably butchering it too.
Yeah, I don't know. Beef, corned beef, pastrami, jerky, poultry, pescado, duck. I don't know if that. Yep, duck. Poultry, duck. Yes, those are the same thing. Fish, salmon, cod, herring, mackerel, anchovies, shrimp, anchovies. I don't like anchovies. Olives, cucumber to make pickles, cabbage to make sauerkraut, radish, cheese, which is like you can do feta cheese, Machago. Is that how you? I don't know. Pecurino. I don't know. I'm sorry for all the cheese friends. The soybeans. You can make miso out of that. Eggs and nuts. So that's it. I could say the only thing that I have pickled at all would be the radishes. And I tried them once. Should we try them again? They're refrigerator pickles, so they don't need a whole lot of skill, which is great because I just put them in an old pickle jar. So, my mom bought too many radishes. Oh, they're not bad at all now. I put dill in there. Last time I had them, they were bad. They're not bad. I know, they're really kind of weird tasting, but I think Mitch will like them. Not bad. So that's pretty much it.
I should have brought over a couple jars that I had canned. I didn't think of it.
Right. Okay, so cool thing, Laura brought over this canner. And what happens is after you have prepped your jar, you have put all of the vegetables and brine and all the fillings and stuff that you want in here. You have vinegared the top. Put this on there. Then you're going to take this. You're going to push it on. Then you will push the button. It's out of battery right now, so I'm sorry. There's not going to be an amazing or anything going on.
I forgot to charge it.
It happens. You push the button, and then it's going to count down with how much air, oxygen it thinks is in the jar. And then when it gives you the all good, then you take this off, and the top will be sealed on. And then what you would do is
Yeah, that won't happen.
Yeah, right. That will not happen, because it will actually be sealed. Then
If it does happen, it didn't seal.
right? Don't eat it. Then what you would do is you would put this on real tight, and then after a little bit you would tighten it even more because it's actually like sealing more and it's giving more room for the top. Okay? So, in my opinion, that sounds like way easier than
It does
the
makes it
jar.
a lot easier.
Yeah. So, yeah, less fear of actually like burning yourself, and I don't know, how hot would this be?
I mean, ideally when you're pickling, you want to bring the brine up to just below a boil.
Okay.
And you want to lightly boil your vegetables before you put it in there to try to kill off as much bacteria as possible.
Right.
Because what can happen is, even if you don't wind up with the scary botulism,
Right.
what can happen is natural bacteria lives on the vegetables, and after several months of canning, what can happen is it can produce this almost milky substance that kind of settles on the bottom of your jars, and if you like shake it up, it'll mix back up into the mixture.
Yeah.
That's yeast. That's actually
Oh.
yeast.
Uh-huh.
Well, so while that's not harmful to consume, doesn't make it look super ideal when you're
Right.
wanting to, snack on some pickles or whatever you have canned. So
Right.
if you want to eliminate as much of that as possible, bringing your vegetables to a light boil. So, I mean, the jar itself is going to be hot because it also is sterilizing. Right. You want to, try to boil the jars and the lids before canning. So
Right.
everything it's a very hot process.
Yeah.
So, with that being
Which
said...
is why people always like buy new lids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the rubber, the seal can, degrade over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever you're doing canning like that, you want to make sure you're using protective, stuff for your hands, that you're not going to burn yourself while you're doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that electric canner does make the sealing of the jars really, 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 really nice.
Makes it faster too, especially if you're not doing too many jars also. Yeah.
Oh, side notes, Tesh, where you're talking about the sealing, after a couple months when you decide you're looking at your canned goods that you're considering, opening up.
Right.
This top, yes.
Yeah, making sure that that doesn't go like that. Make sure it's...
If that happens, it means the seal has been broken and it is not airtight anymore.
You don't want it to be dull.
Mm-mm.
You don't want a dull sound. So you want...
It'll be more tinny.
Yeah.
And it won't move like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it moves like that, it's no good.
Yep, absolutely. Don't eat it.
Don't trust it.
Yep. So I'm making some spices. I'm going to make some roll-on things for teachers not with that.
Did you explain what that is?
This is this is my dill salt. So I could probably even use it for canning. It is like kosher salt. So
Can you explain how you made the dill salt?
Oh that. Okay, so how I made the dill salt is I just put the dill in one of my trays for my dryer, and then I need to get my tiny I don't have anything in full size, I swear. I like little things because it's cute. And I don't actually need a whole huge one, so it's actually it's still dirty. So I just put the dried up dill in here and I just grinded it up, and then I put salt in there to grind up with it so that it would become green, and then I just put a little bit more salt in there. So it's like really, really salty. So, and then I'm just gonna take this and put it in here. Give it to a whole bunch of teachers. That's it.
Actually, that is also another great way to preserve your herbs. If you want to make seasoned salts,
Yes.
You can make lemon pepper salt. You can make
I was
a
gonna do
wide variety.
ranch. I was gonna do ranch
Okay.
dressing, but just the powder form, and then how
Right.
to teach them, like give them a note saying how much mayonnaise you got to put in there and other stuff like
You'll have
that.
to show me how you do that. That's interesting.
Pinterest, just Pinterest. So it's really, I'm just saving a whole bunch of recipes and just doing that. Okay, does anybody have any questions on preserving your harvest? Anything about canning, dehydrating, making spices, zucchinis, whatever. Yeah, ask away. We will wait a couple of minutes. So yeah, this also came with like, came with like, what do you call it? Oh my god.
Oh, nice little labels.
Yeah, little labels. So, I'm just hot. Oh, do we have a question?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. Just wait a couple more minutes. Yep. So, I don't really like radishes, so that's why I just... Let's play around with some radishes. Mitch likes radishes. That's what, the only reason why I'm growing radishes. It's because my husband likes them. Yep. I haven't been in my garden today. I want to go. I'm just looking at all the bees and all the... There's quite a few cucumbers out there right now.
I've already started eating some of my cucumbers. They taste so good.
This is my little cucumber right here. A little.
This is my first year growing honeydew and watermelon. So I've got little...
How is that watermelon going?
They're about the yay big.
So cute.
They're a little bit... No, they're about the size of a softball.
Love it. Love it. My pumpkins, I haven't even seen like an actual one. It's just, I've seen just the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe just getting started, but... Okay, guys. Well, then we'll let you go. Have a good rest of your day.